Yes! Oh, wicked! Right, how is everyone rocking today? Yes, awesome. Okay, right, as you've probably noticed, it's been quite a long time since I've streamed again. But we're going to come back rocking and kicking, and it's going to be awesome. Okay, so what have we got planned today? So we are going to do a few little bug fixes, and they're kind of like, they should be quite easy to do. But we'll see sort of how it goes, and then we might even start on actually making it a real game. So the first thing that we're looking to do is, if I press play now, oh yeah, I probably should have pressed play first, because, oh no, we're fine, everything's fine, we're all good. The whole world is good. Right. Oh yes, so I have, I introduced last episode the, you know, what is the equivalent of the artifacts, but I decided to call them constructs. So they're little buildings that just help you throughout your fight. So, number one, right, and it's timely called number one because it involves a one here. So, can you see there's a little number one there? I actually want to, because this is going to be like the command. It means that he's going to jump forward one, right? We don't actually need the number one there at all. I'm going to work on the times when you don't need a number there to just get rid of them altogether. So that'll be number one on our list. That'll be the thing that we're trying to get rid of. The other thing that I'm looking to get rid of as well is, now it might not be super obvious this time. In fact, it's not going to be, but here he's going to attack for 20 damage, right? I want to make sure that as soon as he actually does the attack, it sort of fades away. So that the number 20 here is very relevant, so you know that you're taking 20 damage. So if he was to attack at this point, yeah, it's going to damage 3 of these, and then the remaining 17 is going to go to hit here, right? But I want to make sure that that sort of symbol, when he does the attack, it disappears, and then it reappears when it's the next move that he's going to do. So if I was to just leave it there, he's going to do this move, and then it's actually swapping to the next move, but it's not super obvious. Whereas I want it to sort of clear and then fade in. The reason that can be a bit of a problem is because when, like, this thing here is giving him 7 extra attack each turn, right? But it doesn't register. So I was having a problem where the attack would say, for example, 27 damage, but he would attack for more because he's attacking for what his strength is, and the number wasn't updated correctly. So hopefully I can fix all that together. So that's what we're going to work on first. We've actually got more things that we want to work on as well, but I want to kind of get these ones sorted first. So let's go number one. Timely number one. We want to, and it really shouldn't be too hard, but right, oh yeah, oh, I kind of regret adding these little constructs now, but yeah, so this is what we're going to work on first. We want to just get rid of, because all you need is an arrow. You don't need a number one to say he's jumping forward one, because the times when he's jumping forward 2, there's like just 2 arrows, so you don't need a number at all. So that's what we're going to work on first. So this one shouldn't be too difficult, because we want to make sure there's still other moves where there is a number that is relevant. But in this case, there is the one isn't necessary. So if I go, it's the attack symbol. We're going to edit this script, and just for simplicity, I'm going to close all but this, and then we're going to make a move. Yes, okay, right, fantastic. So what is it that's changing everything? Let's have a look. So here is where we're setting all the values, and we're given something that's, one of the arguments is something that I've created called a monster attack class. And let's actually have a look, because yeah, sometimes it's been a little while. I was like, how did I do this again? I can't remember. I've got no idea. So and this layer order is simply just making sure that it's in front of the monster that is fighting, just so, because that's an important bit of information that sometimes will overlap. And yeah, so setting the sorting order to the monsters one plus one there. So that's good. Let's have a look. Right, so we just got to have a quick look through, try and work out exactly what's going on here. This seems like far too much much information. Okay, right. So this is just simply the thing that... This is just making sure that when I hover over the skill itself, it tells you what it's going to be doing. Wow. Right, okay. Change to new attack. Oh, I see. So let's actually have a look. Let's see what's going on in this monster attack class. Right. Oh yes, KOT fan. Oh, nice one. How you doing, man? Ah, awesome. Yeah. I still had a few little sort of life. You know, I've had to deal with like real life things lately, so I haven't been able to stream for a while. But it's, yeah, it's good to see you. Oh yeah, cool. Good to hear, man. Oh, nice. Right. So, trying to remember exactly. Oh yes. Right. This is where it gets interesting. Ah, right. Okay. So, yes. This is why it was a bit confusing. It's because every time we're setting a monster attack class, we're actually giving multiple... yeah, we're giving like multiple sprites. So I think actually what I kind of want to do is just here, I'm going to rename this to attack sprites. That will actually, that like psychologically everything now makes a lot more sense. And what we want to do is we actually want to have another, I mean, it doesn't seem too difficult. Maybe right at the end, maybe somewhere like here, we're going to have a public boolean, which is going to be show text. I think show text bools. Okay. Now this is obviously I might need to do a little bit of editing around and stuff to do this. So, like, yeah, it's like this is one of those. This is my method is create a bunch of error messages and fix them all. That's definitely the way forward. So we're going to have bool show text bools. And then put a comma there. Okay, and now I'm going to press... Oh yeah, actually no, sorry, one sec, home. And what we also want to have... oh. That needs to be lowercase. Okay, right. And then over here, we're going to have show text balls equals... show text balls. Okay, why have I done all of this? What does this mean? Right, what all this means is when we are like looking to create the thing which indicates what like action the enemy is going to do, we're going to make sure that on times where we don't need a number, we're simply not going to show one. So the easiest, the quickest way of doing this is first of all, right, let's just bring in all the error messages. Like, just bring them. Oh, is there only two? I thought there was going to be a lot more than that. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. Okay. Oh, yes, of course. Oh, this will actually be easier than I thought. Okay. So what we need to do, I suppose it's still going to take a little while, but we need to, where we're creating a new like integer here, we need to create a new boolean. And I think we can just do it at the end here, which will be, we can actually create one just over here, bool. So we're going to kind of give a message to all of these times we're like calling on these moves to then say like, do you want to show text? So even though this looks, I think this will actually, it shouldn't take me too long. So we're going to have show text bools equals null. That's fine. Okay, so show text bools equals new boolean true. Is that right? That looks pretty good. So because for a basic attack, we do want to see the number. We want to see that like it has got its monster attack. That's actually one thing that's another interesting thing to note. And it's something which I'm still trying to sort of work out, and I probably should have done a little bit of homework off stream. But like where we've got this returning in, we're basically it's going to mean that when he's going to do a basic attack, it's going to show what our monster's attack is. But if for whatever reason it gains attack later, it's not going to update that number. And that's something which I'm going to kind of work on at some point. But I think with my newfangled idea, I won't necessarily need to do it this way. So, Control C. So charge attack, we're not actually using charge attack. That might just be we might not use that at all. But it will, if we did do a charge attack, it would show true. So the attack shred, it's got 2 booleans, so I think we want to see both the number of attacker armors being destroyed and its attack, so we can have true and true. Same for the defense one, true and true. Rage, rage, we don't really need to show anything. We could. Maybe we do. Maybe we do. That's fine. I think that's fine. For heal, we do want to show it. It looks like I'm just making a lot of booleans that's saying true here, but by doing this, it gives me a lot more freedom later on. Let's have a look. So, totem smash. I think, like, we can actually go false for this one. No, I actually kind of want this one to be true. This one we definitely can have false. And the rage drone is going to be false. And here, I think it's at this point here, we're going to have... so here we're just making sure. So we still haven't actually done the changes yet, but we have made it so that we have got a true and a false for the times that we need it. Okay, that's good. Right. So this one here is going to be a little bit different, so let's go try and keep everything. So we still want this. So this is for all of the up close, so when the monster is near, it's dealing with all of this, but when it's at a distance, it's dealing with all of this. So the basic, let me just steal this again, when you can copy and paste. So for basic forward jump 1, I want this to be false. For jump forward 2, I want it to be false as well. In rage, jump forward 1, I want it to be I want it to be the first one to be true, because you want to see how much it's going to enrage for, and the arrow to be false. It'll pay off, trust me, don't worry. Right, and then when it's doing a ranged attack and then moving forward 1, it's also going to be true and false. Okay, and here where we've got returning ints, we just want to have show text balls. Okay, right. So now, let's go find all references. So we need to actually work out the point in which, in fact, I think it might be somewhere on here that we can just work out exactly when it's showing this text. There's definitely easier ways of doing this, but over here, this is what we want. We want to find all these references. Oh, that's quite a lot. Oh, that's quite a lot. Let's see. So... Right. I think this shouldn't matter too much. So yeah, it's going to be. What's that? I think it's just around here. So I think it must be somewhere in here. So in fact, it's what I was looking at slightly the wrong place. It's all of these text messages that we got. Text messages. Meshes. That's the one. Right. Let's have a look. Okay, that's fine. So at what point are we actually setting these? It's here. Okay, this is it. This is the bit which I've just spent the last like 5 minutes looking for. It's this one bit here. So now all we need is just to go if monster attack class dot show text balls I, then we want to make it show the number, else we're going to have that text equal nothing. Equal, yeah, we just want to make sure it's an empty thing there. So if everything has worked and we're all good and everything's rocking, we should hopefully, I should have actually stopped the game before I did all these editing things, but it should be no problem. So if everything works, hopefully we get to see. Like, I mean, by the way, all of this was hopefully for this one thing which might not work. Come on, come on. Hopefully we'll see an arrow with no number on top. Yes, yes. Okay, trust me, even though that looks like that was way excessive. Right, we have done all of this so that there is no number. So now, but when we actually... sorry, dropping stuff. And also, there's no number there. However, if he were to do an attack, which I'm going to kind of work on slightly now. Monster Moon Go, that's the right one. This bad boy here. So if we were to... Right. So he's going to do this attack like normal, which is fine. Then there still would be a number there. However, right, the reason that we're struggling, and this is a beautiful time to show this, is at the moment this is saying 20, and yet if I were to end turn, he's going to do 27 damage, because this little thing is giving him 7 attack each turn, but this bit hasn't updated. So I just want to confirm, right, so this is the next problem that we're sorting, so it's kind of linked in quite nicely. So if I press end turn now, he's going to go over, do... how much damage is that? That's... oh, hang on. I think he did the correct amount of damage. But he shouldn't have done. He should have done more. Right, it should have... that enraged thing should have meant that he did more. But that's easily fixed, and I know how to fix that. So, how? How do we fix that? So, I think it's just a tiny bit of timing. And what we're going to have to do is... where we've got this monster attack symbol script, we're going to have we have got this busy thing, that's fine. So we're going to have, what does fade away do? Oh, it looks like I've actually done some of this work already. So I think basically when it does the action, we want it to fade away straight away. But then when it's the new action has come up, we want it to fade back in. And bizarrely enough, oh, hold on, fade away, fade towards. Yeah, and bizarrely enough, I have done this. I just don't know if I actually find all references. Huh. Oh, it looks like I have actually done this earlier. Find all references. Okay, that is being used. Okay, that's fine. Now that's interesting. I feel like I'm going slightly. So fade towards. Oh, I see. I see. So I have incidentally got a way of, yeah, but we don't actually need to worry about this too much. We can still use this elsewhere and it's no problem. So this shouldn't be too hard to work out. So right. So what we need to do is, so this will, yeah, this shouldn't be too difficult actually. We're going to find our combat script, and we're just going to put in little green bits as to when we want to do that. Yeah, I know, right? It's like kind of, I was fully ready to, like, because I have done that before when I've been coding, when I have, like, I have been like, oh, we definitely need a function that does this, and I've literally created the entire thing, and then realised that, like, kind of, I've made almost another carbon copy of it with, you know, slightly different wording because I just forgot, and it was like, oh, I've got two like functions that do exactly the same thing, you know. So that was lucky. It was lucky we spotted that. Right. So I have actually done it. So this should be easier than I thought. So combat. Right. So. So when I think, so here we've got the monster.instance.perform attack. I think at this point we want it to fade away, because I want it to fade away. Yeah, so let's go to definition. Let's go. So it's busy. That's fine. We want to tell itself. So this is the monster master script, and I believe we do have access to our. Let's have a look. Have we got our symbol script? It would make sense if we had it attached somewhere. Hold on. I'm just going to see if this is anywhere on this script. No, it's not. That's fine. But we do want to somewhere. So where is this? What is actually... Oh, I see. Okay, so here's the slight problem that we've got, and it should be pretty easy to fix. It should be quite fun to fix as well. So I have this monster master script, and this deals with when you have the monster far away in the distance, that's like the mini version, and the big version, and they're both like children of this script. And I believe, unless I'm mistaken, which I'll have to actually check into, is both the actual symbol script is actually attached to both individually the versions of the children of them. Whereas, I mean, like, I'm going to be eating my words soon, but it feels like it should just be a matter of getting rid of both of the one on the children and making a one that's attached here. Right, okay, I'm going to be eating my words. I'm going to look at this thinking, yeah, this should be really easy. It's not going to be easy. Okay, let's go find it. So let's go find all these references. Okay, it's not quite as easy as I thought. Sorry, I'm having a little look, seeing if I can... Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. I was hoping I could sort of do a quick search to find one, but that is not the case. Right. Okay, scripts. Monster scripts. So there we go. Oh. No, this is still fine. This is still doable. I see. Ah, gosh. Yes. Okay. This is where it does get confusing. Right. So we have a monster master script, and we have a monster parent script, and both the mini and the main are children of the parent, not the master. I dropped the ball here. Okay, so so this is fine. So what we actually need to do on this monster master script, we have oh yes, yeah, this is fine. So on the monster master script, we have access to both the main and the mini, which is no problem. So where right? So yeah, okay, yeah. this is a good. I feel like this is a good sort of like learning curve here. In that it does confuse things. That the fact that you've got a parent and a master and they're two different things. However, it should be okay. So if we go into the monster main perform attack, go to definition. Effect main. That's where we needed to do. That's what we wanted to do. So we're performing attack. So we're going to have if effect main. So we can actually, and I quite like this. We're going to have a underscore. This one. This is what we wanted. Sorry, this. Dot. Monster attack symbol script dot fade away and while that is busy, yield return null. Okay, and now we want to do exactly the same except for with the mini version. Okay, so what we have done here is, like, so at the moment, we haven't actually ever told it to fade back in again. So at this precise moment, it's going to fade away and we will never see the attack class ever again. Okay, but let's see if that works. Let's see if... actually, you know what? Now that we're actually in the flow, let's see if we can actually do one better, and this should actually be pretty easy, to be honest. Perform attack. We should just have a public void fade attack symbols back in, and then private enumerator fade attack symbols. Actually, we might not need to do that. Sorry. I'm going to leave that there. We might not need to do that. There might be a sort of cheekier way that we can do it. A sort of... so at this point, we're fading it away. Right, and here is where we're selecting the next attack. Right, but we don't need to do that. What we need to... We actually kind of want to just have this a bit later. Because there's no real reason we have it here. It just made sense at the time. So we can Control X. So right at the end of the turn, I think we can do it all the way here. waiting for all the drones to do it, then we select the next attack. And if we go to definition here, we're selecting the next attack. So what's actually happening at this point? We're putting in a boolean which is summon. Set next attack. Okay. How did I do this? This is an impressive mistake that I've made here. Somehow I've got an argument that's called summon, and I've got a function that's called summon, and it hasn't given me any error messages. This is this isn't good. Set attack. Let's go to the definition. Right. Oh yes, this is fine. And so what's actually happening here? So this should still be fine. Let's go to the definition here. Okay, so right, okay, looks like we're going slightly off track. You know what we should do is for the time being work out if when they do the move that it fades away. Let's do that first and then worry about how we're going to deal with this, just purely because I realised I have made this a lot more complicated than I really needed to be. Right, okay, so let's have a look. Right. So let's have a look. So I'm ending turn now. Hopefully this will fade away and then he'll jump forward. So let's just keep a close eye on that. So yeah, we've done our attack, which is fine. That fade away, yeah, brilliant. Okay. All right, now when he's creating a drone, ideally that'll fade away and then he creates the drone. That's brilliant. Okay, the only problem is we're not actually getting what the next attack is to summon up, right, which is fine. You know what, let's see what the yeah, there's I think it's because in my head it makes so much sense to try and fit the fading back in within this particular like function. So I will do that. It makes a lot of sense. So monster main script. If I go to... Oh, I see. Okay. So let's have a look. So, So yeah, like I think I know what we've got to try and do. I'm trying to work out, because it's like I was hoping I could kind of fit it all in this function, but it looks a little bit more difficult. What happens when we're doing when it's choosing the next ranged move? How does it deal with that? Begin off combat routine. So that's where it fades. It selects the next one. I think we just have to do Yeah, because it's both, there's selecting a ranged attack and selecting a close-up attack, and we just need to deal with both of those individually, which is fine. Let's go add him to our friends. Right, so let's have a look. Yep. So, set ranged attack. Let's find out what's happening. Go to definition. Okay, so I think we do this slightly easier version of what I was going to do, and then like if later I want to have a look over, we're going to do a slightly more complicated version. But this way just feels a lot easier. So we're going to have a Boolean effect main. All right. And then we're going to have a private I enumerator fade attack symbol. I really should be calling it action symbol. Action symbol back in. Fade. Action symbol back in routine. Bool effect main. I'm going to have start coroutine, and with the argument of effect main. And I've pressed a button. I pressed a button. I don't know what button I've pressed. Okay. So with a typical coroutine, we're going to have busy equals true. Let's try again. Busy equals true. Busy equals false. You don't need to use a switch statement when it's a Boolean. Okay, that's fine. I need to write that in. I need to, you know, I feel like it's like a kid at school. You know, at the beginning of The Simpsons when Bart is writing on the chalkboard saying like, you know, it's like there is no need. You never need to do a switch statement, right? When it's a Boolean. Okay, right. Even though like there would be like this kind of like 0.04% of the population who would look at that and think, oh, that's hilarious, and the rest it would be completely wasted on. It's like, right. We just need to do an if else. So if effect main, we do something else. We do something else. Okay, so if effect main, we want to get hold of monster attack symbol script. If it helps, I read up about it, and Switch is turned. Really? You've actually read up on it? Wow. So, I mean, so I could, like, that is, you know what, that is a bit of a consolation. I mean, I think, like, I can see, though, it's just, it's one of those sort of things where kind of like if ever I wanted to actually kind of take my programming, you know, and actually start making, you know, proper money, get a job and stuff with it, and like someone would just be peering over my shoulder and they would see every time, they'd be like, why, you don't need to do a switch statement every time there's a Boolean. Like, you can just have if else, you know. It's like so yeah. I mean, one thing though, when I barely knew about switch statements at all for quite a while. So whenever there was a range of like 8 different things, I would just do like if this, no, else do this, and I would literally have this massive line of if else's, and it would check everything. but then like kind of, and I thought, oh, a switch statement, everything just looks so much tidier. And then I kind of got like, it was almost like a drug of like, oh, I just need to use switch statements for everything because look how good it looks. Oh, in fact, we can actually have, no, we can't. So okay. So this is the thing that we need to put in. We just need to then find out where we're going to put it. So at this point, when it's selecting the next ranged attack, we can go monster master script dot instance dot fade back in. Oh yeah. So that will be false. So this is the ranged, and then while monster master script dot instance dot busy. So I quite like that. We just need to do exactly the same after we've done the close-up equivalent. And what I want to do as well is add more steps to check that it's working on both things. So it's just here, isn't it? I think that just needs to be true. Okay, now I think this should work. But let's just test to see if it does work. Okay, so what we do first up is so we've got yeah, sorry, there's one other little thing that I need to do. We have got to go resources, monster SOs. Oh yeah. We just want to make this to say 3 or something. So we get to see. So I'm going to regret. Yeah, I want to kind of get rid of these for the time being. These have done their job. We know what they do, so that's good. Okay, right. So we want that to fade away, jump forward, and then this to fade back in. Right, let's go. So fading away, then fades back in. Fantastic. Fades back in. Nice. Now this is where, like, we might get some kind of error message, but let's have a look. Let's see what happens. Okay, no, that's all good. All right. So now we want that to fade away, and then our next attack to fade back in. Okay, now here's where I want to this is the purpose, the reason that I've done all of this is, I mean, obviously one, to make the whole game smoother and everything, but there is a little thing that I do want to test. So if we actually click on this big boy and we go into his thing, his monster attack is 27, which is completely correct because this thing has pumped his attack up 7. So what I want to do now is get rid of the concept of him ever being able to do any of these drones. So this way, he's definitely going to do... he's definitely going to do a basic attack next time. So this is where we've got to do just a little bit of maths here. So this thing is pumping 7 attack every turn, right? And he's about to create another one. So we're on 27. So in theory, once he's created this, both of these pump up an extra like 7 each. So that's 14. So this should go up to, is it 41? So when he's doing the basic attack, it should be 41 next time. And like this is where it got a bit awkward before. So let's see if this does work. So he's going to create another one. Yep, he's done that. We're doing our attack like normal. They're pumping both of those up. That is 41. Yes, let's go. Okay, right. The only slight problem is oh, I see. Yeah. So it's because the actual symbols don't change. They don't change instantly. So we actually saw a little bit of we kind of, as it was growing, it sort of changed that, and I don't know if I like that. But that should be quite easy to change. So yeah, it's one last little thing that I'm looking to do. And okay, so right, this is good. Okay, yeah, this is we have almost done exactly what we wanted to do. I think there is just one little thing. What's the symbol? Attack symbol, monster attack symbol script. So change to new attack. I see what it's doing is we can actually have it that yeah, and another something which I'm not sure how I feel about is the fact that we're actually doing 2 different routines to get it faded in and to we're sort of fading it in and changing and making it bounce, and they're 2 separate routines that are occurring on the same thing. So am I happy with that? Not really. What we could do because even though like it will have made some other previous work, we could simply just kind of chuck all of this information. Am I going to lose sleep? Am I going to go to sleep tonight and think, oh no, I shouldn't? Yeah, because so the problem is these booleans are slightly conflicting because it's doing the fade towards routine, which makes it busy and false, and it's doing this stuff. No, I think I am kind of happy to leave it. I just want to check that now that I've literally just moved this up here, it's changing it straight away. Let's give that a shot. Let's just see if it works. Will I sleep at night? It isn't. See, because one thing as well, I have been tempted. I haven't done one yet, but I have been tempted to do like a game jam session at some point. And like with problems that I've got there, then it's like, oh, don't worry, you're just looking to try and make a game. It's going to have bugs, don't worry about it. Let's actually do another little experiment. Basic jump forward, jump 2. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. So now, yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah. Right, and now if we actually have it swapping to a different attack here, I think we can just do that. That probability weights, that's fine. So now, again, it should be 41 attack again. Yeah. Okay, that's much better. That is better. I'm not gonna worry about that too much. I don't want to get too caught up in that whole thing. Right. So brilliant. Okay. Right now, I did actually. So I'm just going to stand up. I need to have a quick look at my because that all of that was it. One more thing that we want to do, and it might be sorted already, but I want to really try and sort of bring it home, check that it is sorted. So. What I've got is one of these little items that we have, one of these little, like, I think I call them constructs, but they could be given a better name, is the Corn Heart Farm, right? And it means that when you play, well, 25 cards, but I've lowered it to 5 so we can test it. This thing just gets destroyed and you gain 25 life. So let's actually just try and play as many cards as we can. May as well play one of these. Right, so I'm going to play this card. So it's 25. Ah, I wasn't paying attention. Did the bar actually get bigger? Sorry. Ah, okay. Sorry, I wasn't actually looking at the life because I wanted to make sure the bar stays the same and you just see you getting like extra maximum life. So it looks like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can actually play 5 cards this turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're just having a look at this life bar because yeah, what we want to happen is. Yeah, let's just see. Let's see if it looks exactly how I want it to look. That is exactly how I want it to look. Right. So that's good. Now let's just see if when we take damage, in fact I can kind of affect this at run time as well. So we just want to get rid of the drone, get rid of that. That's fine. So we want to make sure that when we're taking damage that we are taking the correct amount of damage. And I know that sounds obvious. So we've got 11 defense. So in theory this should be going down by 9. So this should be 66. No, it's not. That's partly why I wanted to try that out. So it did go down by 9, but it didn't get the message that it's actually now on 75 life. So there was a certain thing that wasn't affected at that point, and I'm okay with that. I think we just need to, yeah, that's something that we just need to work on a little bit. So we've got to work out the exact value, because I think, even though it's saying show that it's the 75 life, the actual internal number hasn't been affected. So 1, 2, 3, that's fine. So let's actually have a look before so I can do one more. Okay, now let's have a little look. So this is the life bar. So we've got, yeah, just checking my head isn't current. So current life, max life. Okay. So I'm now going to go on. So now we're going to keep a close eye on what happens to these, all of these numbers here. So I'm just going to play this one here. So it is saying that it's max life of 75. right? And yet, yeah, sorry. So it's saying it's 75 there. So there is, we've just got to work out why it's taking damage as if it was on 50. Because what's happening is, and I'll have to try and change a couple of little things to experiment with this. Get rid of that, and then end turn. So here he's enraging. He should be doing 20. Yeah. 27, right? Now, if I... So, yeah, sorry, this is quite small. It's quite hard to see on the screen. It's just... I need to still have another look over here. So it's still saying 75, 75. But if I were to end turn now... Yeah, it's just taken... Yeah, it's as if it hasn't accounted for the 75 for the fact that it's 75. So this is easy to fix, I think, I hope. But what we need to do, we need to just kind of go into the world of, you know, just be like, yeah, let's find out what's going down. So add max life. Because I think here, the bit which is telling us the max life, so this shouldn't be too hard actually, is something like add there, max life goes up by there. So I think just here, because when we're getting that 25 life, not only are we getting 25 maximum life, but we're also healing for 25, right? It's somewhere here we want... actually, let's go find all references. So, yeah. So after here, we want to, I think actually, yeah, also update actual town life. Okay. So I think I see where the problem lies now. So somewhere, and I think it shouldn't be too difficult, because what everything's going on is where we have this master, we have this game info script, which we're going to get to, and it's this that we want to change. And is there an easy way to do this? Let's have a think. I mean, there's easy ways to do it, but I'm trying to work out what makes the correct way. Because when we're gaining this life, right, and this is where the problem lies. And I think it's actually, we may as well quickly just create the problem so I can just sort of visualize it. Right. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, this is what we want to update. And yeah, this bit hasn't been updated. That's it. And so that should be. So this is what we want to update. We just got to work out exactly how to do that. Okay. What would make... the correct sense. So I think we should have a function here where it updates I think if we had, yeah, I haven't worked out how we're going to do this yet, but we're going to go public public void update town max life, and all we actually need is a life bar script, and then we need to have town heart, yeah. So town heart life current equals life bar script dot current life. Okay, all right, and town heart, yeah, I thought that was going to be a bit more difficult to find, in all honesty. The life bar script dot max life. Okay, so now we've actually made this function. We just need to find all the times we're adding max life. So, and in fact, let's go keep this in. Let's keep this in as well. So we just want to have game info script dot instance dot no, actually, forget it. Update town max life. This. Okay. And then we just need to find all the other times we're using it. So yeah, although we don't really need it here. So yeah, we don't want it here. Okay. So yeah, so this is making sure oh yeah, but we can't have this. Yeah, this is, so we actually just need to go and I've been very careful with how I do this. It's just purely because if ever I wanted one of the monsters to suddenly get more maximum life, like, you know, it'd be a move where it suddenly doubles its life total or something, I'm not, like, yeah, it's specifically only ever going to affect the town heart where it sort of stays permanent. So that's good. I think that's fine. And we can actually just go okay. I think this is good. I think this should work. Okay, right, let's give this another try. So, yeah, we're getting... So I'm feeling good. I reckon this will just simply work this time. Because I want to make sure that when we take damage as well. So yes, it looks like we're all lined up. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so this is now 75. And now we're going to end turn. We're going to wait for him to arrive. And actually, just in the meantime, I'm going to... we get rid of the rage drone and that one there. I'm going to let him get up close. Okay, so, right, so ideally we're going to be taking 17 damage and it will go down to... Ah, no! Oh man, I was so convinced I had that then. Why did that not work? That's really interesting. Okay, so we still took damage as if we were still on 50. I was 100% sure that was going to work. Oh, I'm kind of gutted now. So, in theory, he attacks again. I want to just check that we take another 17 damage. So, 33 minus 17 is 16? 16, yeah. So, we should be down to 16 now when he attacks. Okay, so it's not as though... Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Okay, that's fine. This is a bit of a mystery now. So let's just have a quick look at our oh. So there is still another internal number that we haven't changed. Which it's probably on the Town Heart itself. Okay. Right, it is. So, it's probably easier, because I just want to get to the Town Heart script. Because I have a feeling this actual, building here, like this Town Heart, actually does have its own internal script. Because there is an argument that, and now, what's the best way of going about this? Because what we could do, and what would probably make a lot of sense, to be fair, would be if we simply got rid of this number altogether. Yeah, as in quite literally just go like that, create a bunch of error messages, and just refer it back to our game info script. Yeah, right, that's probably what I'm going to do. Because the game info script, this is like the daddy, this is holding all the important information. And I think this might look a little ugly for a little while, but I think it's probably the way forward. So I think that's what we do. Okay, so every time we're referring to the game in the Town Heart Life, yeah, because otherwise we just kind of got too many numbers that are the Town Heart Life. We've got it on the Town Heart, we've got it on the Life Bar, and we've got it on the game info script, right? And it's getting too complicated. If we just completely nullify this one, I think that'll be easier. So what we'll do to begin with is right at the top here, we're going to have a... Do we need it? Do we need it? Do we need it? Do we need it? No, maybe not, because I was thinking of actually just having a quick reference to the... No, we don't need it. We don't need it. It's fine. So now that now that I've actually greened this out, we can go to all of these other ones, and I just want to have a quick look through. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, okay. This shouldn't even take too long. So here we're going to have game info script dot instance dot Town Heart Life Current. Control C. And all these times we're doing it, we're just... So... Okay. Right, so let's see if we've got any error messages coming up straight off the bat, which we might do. Okay. Right, we don't. So let's give this a shot. We now want to... oh, hold on. Okay, no, that's fine. So error messages are welcome. That's why, I mean, like, as I say, it's probably a terrible way of doing it, but I just quite like the idea of like, whenever I'm thinking, let's just create a bunch of error messages and fix them better. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's still good. That's exactly what we want. Again, a little bit annoying that I forgot to move it back down to 1, because we need him to attack and for us to then take, ideally, what is that? So we've got 13 defenders, so we should only be taking... I forgot to... forgot all the things! What I should have done is just go onto the main one and delete this, but I didn't think about that, so that's fine. Okay. Right, so he's going to do an Enrage. Right, he's now going to hit us for 27. So 27 minus 13 is 14. So we should be taking 14 damage, which is 61. So we should hopefully be down to 61 now, maybe? $61, yes! Oh, okay, right, the world has aligned. Yes, okay, but I think I prefer this. I think I definitely prefer this now, because now this doesn't have to carry the burden, like, as in, it is quite difficult when you have a particular number that is a really important number that is being held in 3 different places and you have to affect all 3 different ones. So I think this is fine. And just to confirm as well, if we would go on to master script, yeah, so even when we change bless me, when we change scenes, this will still remain the same. Okay, right, so where do we go from here? Right, so to be honest, I needed to get that done, right? What we can do, like, now, we can actually start doing the thing that I've been trying to do for ages. Right, so I'm just going to have some water. I just realised I'm getting a bit of a dry throat. I've just been sort of talking to myself for quite a long time. Oh, right. So... Oh yeah, so I've still got this post-it, which which is to remind me how to set variables. Tell you what, oh bless me, I'm going to have a quick break because I need to make myself a coffee. I shall be right back. I also need to use the bathroom, so I'll be right back. Hold on. Right, and we're back. Okay, so, right, now that we've actually done that, because I realised those were the... I've basically done... I have got enough to sort combat out now, right? Now, we have got... what we're actually looking to do now is the next big thing, where I have been... I've been thinking for a while about how to do it, and then it kind of occurred to me that I need to do it kind of how I've made the game. I need to do a sort of bad version of it to then make a better version. And I think, you know, and it's like kind of, and I know that's probably, I don't know if that's necessarily the way forward. It's just, I realised because I've got so many things that I'm looking to actually put in the main game that I thought, why don't we just make it nice and simple to begin with? And then, like, once we have actually created this, like, sort of foundation, we're then going to make a more complicated... we can then make it more complicated after that. But I think in my head, I was like, I've got this really complicated version, and I've been sort of hesitant to do it. Whereas, let's have a look. So, Destiny map. Right, this is... Let's actually have a little play as to what we've actually see what we've got so far. So this is okay. This is okay. So what we we've got the ability to actually have a look at the cards that we've got, and then press that again. So bam. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So what we kind of want to do is somehow, right, so what's going to happen is you're going to fight an enemy, then you're going to have like a choice of either, you know, adding a card or adding an artifact. I'm calling them artifacts. a construct, like, and then, you know, you add it and then you have another fight, and then obviously the fights are going to get progressively harder, but you're going to have a stronger deck and a stronger ways of actually dealing with everything. And because I've thought, like, so let's see if I think I've got over here, these are the different things that you can do. So like adding a card, somehow like adding money or something. This diamond is going to be the form of getting like a new artifact. Oh yeah, upgrading cards as well. So what we're going to do right straight at the beginning, right, because yeah, because I think I've just been trying to do far too much in one go, we're just going to say work on simply, right, for the time being, you add a card. That's it, nothing else. It's like you get a chance to add a card, and then you go on to the next fight. So I think that's kind of like how we're going to kind of go about it, because I've got so many ideas for how to make it like better, but I feel we're going to start nice and simple. So what we kind of want to do is I'm going to stop this here, Destiny map. Let's go have a look at this, because I might just create a whole new version. Destiny map script. So yeah, because this was the so early version that I haven't actually worked out what to do yet. Okay, so also I think because this is intended to be played like on a landscape like screen, it would make more sense for everything to start on the left. So it's like, and then you work your way from left to right. So it's like monster, then say get a card, then another monster, then get an artifact, and it sort of moves its way to the right. So what we're going to do, we're going to have, we're actually going to just remove this component altogether. Oh, actually, hold on. It's going to be slightly more difficult than I thought. Actually, no, we can work with this. So, and as you kind of get through, I kind of want. So yeah, first of all, let's work on. We're going to actually go from left to right. So I think the furthest left that we wanted to have is about how left this is, which is x being -7. Okay, and I don't think it will be too difficult. We've just got to change a little bit here. Yeah, the more I look at it, I need to just create a whole new Destiny map. I think this is kind of rubbish stuff. So how do we do that? Right. It feels like kind of you know, like kind of those sort of scenes on like a film or something where you kind of climb up and you're at the top sort of diving board and like everyone's staring at you like, how are you going to do it? And you're like, oh, I don't know. That's what we're going through right now. I think this deck checker script. So let's just say hypothetically we turn this off and then we press play. Are we still going to get an error message? No, we've still got access to this. So this is fine. Okay, that's fine. So this is a separate entity that we don't need to worry about too much. Okay, so let's have a look. So we're going to stop now. I kind of want to have a new script, which I'm going to call... we're going to have a new script. Because I kind of want to just delete this one altogether, because I think it's a bit rubbish. But we're going to have... This is just going to be called Destiny Map Script. Is that going to confuse things? Yeah, no, I think that should be okay. Okay. Yeah, and like I say, I'm going to make a bad version that I can then make better. And what we also want is... yeah, okay, sorry. Just I've been talking to myself. So here we're going to have a private card, private sprite, potential enemies. No, monsters. Okay. Private sprite, Destiny cards. So although we're going to have multiple, we're literally only going to worry about the adding a random card. Private awake, potential monsters equals yeah. Wow. Yeah. So this is yeah. I apologise for the sort of slightly slow pace. It's more like because like I realised it's just I want to make a nice simple version. So the first thing that you kind of have to do is battle. Okay. Right. Okay. But I've got coffee, so everything's fine. Okay. So it's sprites. So we're going to create a new folder, which is going to be, which we will just have placeholder. We're just going to call this placeholder. Another folder. It's going to be Destiny cards. And another folder which will be potential monsters. Cool. Okay. And all we want right now is simply this one here. And potential monsters, in fact what I should do is Control D. This over here, that's fine. And when we go on to monsters, because at the moment I've actually created more than 2 monsters, but I haven't fleshed them out as much. So now monsters, blob, yeah, because I have made some other monster stuff. Main, mini. Kind of want to just duplicate this one action here. So yeah, like I say, this might be a little bit of a slow start, but I think it will make sense. Okay. Right, so now we've got this, so copy path. Oh, hold on. Resources dot load all. And I think this is like kind of, it's quite nice, the fact that I've been able to identify that it's like what I'm trying to do is way too complicated to try and do in one go. So it's quite nice that I've just kind of created a sort of simpler version. We're going to have a private game object. I think we can just call it Destiny card game object. And private game object. Monster game object, that's fine. Okay. So this is one thing. I might have actually created the game objects that I need already, because I think they might have all the things that we need anyway. So Destiny stuff. Oh right, yeah. So we have. So that's this one here, which is kind of what we want. That's fine. Destiny card. Okay, fantastic. Okay, this is actually a bit better than I thought. So these are the 2 things that we want to get hold of. So I'm going to just go copy path. And at the moment, they are literally just empty sprites that have got nothing in it. And we're looking to... we're then going to flesh it out with some stuff. So, copy path. So yeah, like sometimes you just... copy path. Okay. And in my head, in an actual like game, a proper run, I want there to be 12 monsters that you fight, and there'll be like the last one will be a boss. So it will be a monster, then you get a chance to upgrade, whether it's like restoring health in your town heart, whether it's adding another card to your deck or something. You have one of those and then another fight, you know, and it sort of switches back and forth. I like that idea. So right, let's go. Right. Where are we? Okay. Oh, sorry. Right. Let's see. Oh yeah. Right. Let's have a look. Okay. So first of all, I think so first of all we've got access to. Oh, what have I done? Ah, no, hold on. Control Z. Okay. Yes. Okay. I see where we've gone wrong here. Okay. Destiny card go equals resources dot load game object. Game object. Okay, wicked. Right. So now we're getting access to these. Let's just go. It's going to be a bit of a pain, but we just need to fill in all of these. Sorry, my mind was slightly on something else right now. Let's go. Now, I've got this habit of pressing Control S to save, but it means I have to load each time, so I'm not actually going to save anything quite yet. We just want to get access to all the things that we want. Okay, sprites we want to get hold of, Destiny cards. And our potential monsters. Okay. Right. Okay. So what we're going to do is, let's have a think. What's our best way to go about this? So we've got all of this. So what we need next is it's like, yeah, this is, I probably should have had a slightly better sort of roadmap as to how we're going to do this, but we're just going to worry about, for the time being, our prefabs. We're going to worry about this thing. Okay, so we're going to get a new script to add to this. Which will be here, and we're going to create C# script. This will be Destiny map clickable script, and then we're going to go for create C# script, Destiny map monster script. Okay, good. Right, so why have I had a clickable script and a Destiny map monster script? The reason being is because this clickable script is actually going to be a parent to both the it's going to be a parent of both the monster and the Destiny cards, because there's so many things that we want on all of these things. So number one, we want to make them using Unity Engine event systems, eye pointer click handler and eye pointer enter handler. So we want both of those, and for those to actually be active, we want a public void on pointer enter okay, and public void on pointer click, I think. And on that note as well, we want a eye pointer exit handler. Public void on pointer exit. There we go. I know, it probably should have been like well, this should be saved for a whole fresh new stream, because there's so much going on, so much that I'm trying to do in one go. Okay, all this is great. Okay, so so these are definitely things that we want. We want to have let me need to start getting rid of some of these scripts that I don't need anymore. Just to clear up this top bar, so that I can kind of work out exactly where we're headed. Okay, we kind of do want that. We don't need that. We don't need that. And we probably want the rest of these. So okay. So now we're going to give this monster a Destiny map monster script. Alright, and now we're going to edit this, and we want this to have a parent not of mono behavior but of Destiny map clickable script. So now all of these have got yeah, so now we've got access. So this particular thing has got access to, like, we might not need this at all, but we might just be able to do everything in here, and we don't need to have any children. So where we're going next is let's have a look. Master, edit here. Do something a little cheeky. No, it's fine. It's fine. Because we're keeping our enums on this master. So if I have public enum DM card readiness, okay, and it will be something like ready future and past. Okay. Right, so on this map, this clickable map script, we're going to have a public master script dot DM card readiness, and we just have readiness. I don't actually know if it's ready with a Y or not. I think it's like that. So maybe it doesn't even need the that's fine. Okay, right. Right, so now we've created this. Yeah, I think now the more I look at it, master script, because what we want to have attached to this is a, we'll have it public for the time being, public monster SO that's all we need for the time being. Okay. We'll have public void set up, and we're going to have a monster SO. So what this monster SO, this is a monster scriptable object. Now when we're creating these monsters on the map, we want to give them a monster scriptable object so that we can know that when we are actually doing this fight, we know what monster we're doing. And let's go monster SO equals. So I think actually what probably makes a lot of sense right now is to actually, when we're creating this Destiny map script, right? Okay. How do we go about doing this? So because what we want is obviously this Destiny map is going to be something that we're going to come back to like regularly. Like we're going to do a fight and then we're going to come back to it. So what we kind of want to do is once we have created our Destiny map, once we've got all the information, we can then alter things as and when we need to. So on the game info script, we need, now here is, what do we save it on? Because I think here is where we might need to do, right, create a new script, which will be Destiny map class. I think that's okay. Yeah, this does make a lot of sense. Now things are actually starting to kind of like make sense in my head. It will just take a little while to kind of like for it to actually make sense to anyone else. So yeah, we're going to be in the dark, and we might be in the dark for a little while, but hopefully, you know, like I say, this is the extreme version of the Art Attack, where like kind of you can see him making something. But the sad thing is even though I'm going to be working, I'm going to be properly trying to power through on this, there is a chance that we might not have anything that's necessarily showable for a little while to come, which I apologise, which I apologise for. So I think this Destiny map class, it's going to be a class, it's not going to have mono behaviour. So what are the things that we actually need? We need yeah, public, yeah, this is going to be tough. Right, might just need to take a moment just to try and work out, because the plan which I've got is I want to make sure when you start a game it creates the Destiny map, right? So it's actually got this proper sort of holdable thing, right? So when we're actually showing it, when we're actually showing the Destiny map on screen, it's referring to this particular Destiny map class to go from. And because what we kind of want, we want to use jagged arrays. And I've just got to remember how to do that. Okay. So that's DM card readiness. Yeah. Okay. DM card. DM card potentials. So this will be add card and monster. And we're going to have more of these later. Oh man, yeah, you know when it's like so close to getting a good, really solid breakthrough, but it's just sort of still going around slightly in the dark just for a period of time. So, you know what? The whole jagged arrays we're going to worry about later. Public, no. Public master script dot. Oh, hold on. I think I'm actually running slightly into this problem. I think I've had this problem before where nothing that I can write here, like if I was to say public oh, maybe not, okay. Oh yeah. Master script dot. DM card potentials. Yeah. Wonder why that's not working. Oh, I think that just needed to be afterwards. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right, and now on this game info script, we're going to have a public Destiny map class. Right, okay, that's good. So when we actually start the game, we're going to have a function that creates this, that creates this really complex Destiny map class. And so we actually need to have a separate, like a starting screen, a sort of title screen where we say start game. So as soon as you start the game, it creates this Destiny map class. Now for the time being, it's going to be incredibly simple. But I think when we're actually going to let's have a look. Even though this is quite a big chunky script for the time being, we're going to have a public void set up Destiny map. Okay. Right. Public master script. Oh, wait. Oh, wow, cool. Sorry, I've been miles away. Sorry, you might have been here for ages. Sorry, I do apologise. Oh, how are you doing? Who likes modern games? We're playing games of the past because they're well written with good stories rather than looking at... yeah, it doesn't matter if your characters are like, yes, I 100%, I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, I think the weird thing is when it comes to that sort of concept, like, it's the same thing with music as well, right? Because when you actually... the tunes of old retro games are like... it's as though we've got such limited resources. Let's try and make the tune so good, right? That, like, you're just going to remember it. Like, so, for example, I mean, like, obviously Defender of the Crown has got, like, the best... like, it's got, like, one of the best tunes ever, where, like, we're all going to remember it, right? And, like, so many games. And yet, like, kind of, you're thinking, well, you can't recreate, you know, like, that's because they had those sort of limited resources. But, yeah, I agree, actually. So, yeah. How are you doing there, man? Ah, fair play. Oh, yeah, I'm working on something. I'm working on a, like, kind of the next big step where we're actually turning the simulator into an actual game, and I've realised it's actually really difficult. So, like, for this particular moment, it's going to look a little bit like yeah, I'm going to look a little bit crazy as I sort of go through, because I have to do a lot of really sort of complicated things in order to get everything to work. So, but I don't know, I feel like I'm getting there. And I sort of made this suggestion kind of halfway through the stream, and I was thinking I probably should have had a proper fresh mind going into it. Oh, wicked. But yeah, so you're actually like it is, because I know that you do sort of night shifts, so this must be a proper, like, it's either you're doing a proper night shift and you still haven't gone to sleep yet, but that's really cool. It's good of you to come in, man. Potentials, readinesses, yeah, that's fine. Okay. So, set up Destiny map. We're going to have Destiny map class. Destiny map class equals new Destiny map class. Okay. Right. So this is going to look a little bit ugly, but yeah, I feel it's like one day I think this will become. Oh, right. Oh, wow. Oh, fair play, man. Oh. It's like this is, yeah, this is the really like proper in-depth complicated bit, which is probably slightly this is kind of going over my head slightly, where like you actually got to think, how do you, like, this is the sort of proper sort of foundations. It's like, oh, I want to see the house now, and it's like, well, yeah, but we've got to do all this boring planning permission, and this is effectively the planning permission, right? Oh, fair play. Right. Yeah, but like, yeah, I haven't been streaming for quite a while. I think, yeah, I just needed to sort of deal with a few sort of real life sort of things. Real life, like the coding world is so much more fun than than real life. So, Destiny map class dot potentials equals new potentials 12. For the time being, we're going to make 12. And Destiny map class dot potentials master script dot instance dot, no, hold on, okay, right, we just need to do that a few more times. Yeah, I think the only problem is, like, in many respects, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm making a really, really basic version. It's like, it feels like, you know, sort of like, this is the equivalent of a kid being like, I want this much space and this is what I want to do. So it's like, that's actually kind of what I am doing. I'm making a really crap version. But, like, unfortunately, it's still going to take a little while. Is that, I just want to check that's 12, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we just got to number all of these. So, yeah, like I say, this is a really bad version to begin with. But hopefully it will evolve into something that will make sense. Actually, let's make it 13. Okay. So we actually need to make a scene, a different scene, which is just like essentially a start game scene. So this is essentially all the options you're going to get are just yeah, so that's fine. Now we're just making the Destiny class dot readinesses is equals new DM card readiness 13. Oh, ah. 4. Destiny, yeah. That's what we want. Destiny map class dot readiness dot length. Pause. Yeah, master script dot future. Okay. Why is that giving me grief? Oh yeah, of course we need to have a little eye there. Okay. Someone post online, and normally when they have a coding problem, they post it online, then log in as someone else and give the the worst wrong answer they can, because they know people won't help them. They'll tell people who is wrong how wrong they are and correct them. Yeah, yeah. I love that as a sort of method, as though like here's a problem that I have. Right, here is the worst possible way to fix it. Not ready. Okay. Right. This might be... Oh yeah, no, that's fair enough. Tell you what, it's been way awesome, like, having you, man. Like, kind of, it sounds like if you've just coming off a night shift and it's 2 and stuff, go have a sleep and stuff and just chillax. But it's absolutely way awesome. Yeah, really cool. Right, okay. Now, this is something that we're obviously going to make a lot better later. Game info script .instance .destiny map class equals destiny map class. Okay. So now, yeah, this is the most proper basic version of what we're looking to do. Okay. So, game info script. In fact, yeah, okay. Right, so where are we up to now? We need to Destiny map script. Upon awake, we need this. Oh no, it's just not here. It's here. Destiny map class. That's what we want. Okay. So if underscore Destiny map class. Actually, no, we won't do that bit. We'll have it on here. Yeah. So we're going to have a public. Yeah, this one should be public. Destiny map class. And what we want to do is we're going to check to see if this is empty, if this is null. So if game info script dot instance dot destiny map class is equal to null, we're then going to have a master script dot instance dot set up destiny map. Right, and what this is doing, this particular setting up the destiny map, is it's making sure that the game info script now has a destiny map. At the moment, there's not much going on in this class. We will add more, but this is just making sure that we have created it. And now that we've done that, we now want to have our destiny map class equal the game info script dot instance dot underscore destiny map class. Okay, right, why have we done all of this? It's so we can... Right, now I'll have to get some numbers here, but we're going to have a public void Summon Destiny map. Right, cool. Wicked. So, we will turn it into a routine as well. And so with that in mind, we want to have a public bool busy. So private enumerator summon Destiny map routine busy equals false. I mean busy equals true. Equals true. Busy equals false. Let's go with get rid of that. Okay. So now we just need to have on this clickable thing. We want to have a sort of summon. We want to have a way of summoning these things. So. So before we do any of that, we want to have a... oh, right, okay. So now let's see if I've got the... So public... So this is learning from what I had. Public transform. Base trans. Get semicolon protected set semicolon. Okay, and we want to do the same again but for a sprite. So this will be a sprite and oh sorry, sprite renderer. Base SR. Okay, so hopefully now that we've done this, we have now got access. We can now get access to our like the stuff that we want on the individual clickables. Okay, all right. Private awake. Base trans equals get component transform base SR equals get component sprite renderer. Yeah, I think this will be nice. I think once I've created a really basic version of what I'm going for, everything else will just be a lot easier. It'll be a matter of updating what I've already done. Okay, so we've got this. Now we can have our public void summon. We also want a public bool busy. Private enumerator summon routine, and this is going to be a really basic routine. So start coroutine summon routine. I think we might even need a yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay. What we're also going to have This is where I just need to have a little think, because we want to give all the relevant information. In fact, the summon routine is purely just going to be summoning it. Setting all the data on each of these is going to be a separate thing. So let's just do the summon routine. Let's just say we want it to start of size 0 and with 0 alpha, and it just grows to the size and like fades in. I think that's probably better. So busy equals true, busy equals false, base trans dot local scale equals vector 3 dot 0, base sr dot color equals color dot clear, int chum equals mover dot instance dot grow to size, base trans, it's going to be vector 3.1, and time to take is going to be 0.25 seconds. And mover dot instance dot fade sr to color, base sr color dot white over 0.25 seconds. Sweet. Okay, and then right, and then we're going to have a while mover.instance.s2f bool. So this is just essentially waiting for the size to grow. Okay. Right, so this is good. What we want next is okay. So for int I equals 0, I less than underscore destiny map class dot potentials dot length I plus plus. Okay. So it's still going to look a little ugly. Start coroutine, summon destiny map routine. Okay, so at the moment we haven't set any pictures. We haven't actually set them, so that it's going to be the same picture for everything, which is still fine. Switch destiny map class dot potentials case master script dot potentials dot add card, do something. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Something very quickly that I need to do before I proceed. Let's go. This is just purely to stop me getting an error message when I exit. We're going to come back to that. It's not going to be like I've just got this random switch statement, and that, you know, that's it. That's pretty much it. Put a bit of masking tape over it. We've done it. We've created the whole thing. What we need as well is we need to create a C# script, which will be Destiny map. We'll call it a bonus script. I think that's it. That's vague enough that that covers what we need. And there's nothing going on in this at the moment. All we want is just to have a Destiny map clickable script. That's all we need. And we'll put in more stuff later. Okay. Okay. So what we would also want is this isn't so a public list of clickable scripts. So we're making sure that when we're making the map, we've got access to all of our clickables. So our clickables count as bonuses and the monsters as well. And it just feels like it makes sense to create this. That's fine. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. So right here we want to have underscore Destiny map clickable scripts equals new list. Alright, so we're creating a new list. One last teeny tiny little thing that we need to do. Right. Destiny card. So it's got this script, which is essentially, it's saying it's got this script, but if we want to do something specific to the card. Oh, I've just gone way too far back. There we are. Okay, so now I'm gonna have Destiny map bonus script. Bonus script equals instantiate Destiny card go, and so -7. We're going to new vector 3 -7, 0 quaternion dot identity dot get component Destiny map bonus script. Okay. Now, Destiny map bonus script dot summon while what we also want to do is have score Destiny map clickable scripts dot add Destiny map bonus script. Okay, so we need to, so that's for creating the card, and now we want to have the creating the little summon. So how do we do this? Okay, case master script dot DM card potentials dot monster. Destiny map monster script. Oh yes, int x pos equals -7 plus I, just for the time being. So this is just making sure that it's like we're setting the x position to we're setting it so that it kind of goes along. Like I say, definitely creating it. This is a proper rough, bad version that it will eventually look good. Hopefully. Monster go. New vector 3 x pos 0. And our favourite quaternion.identity. Then this is the script. That's what we wanted. Destiny map monster script dot summon right, so dot add. Okay, so while we're creating them, we're also adding them to this list here of clickable scripts. So when we want to unsummon it, we can just make them all fade away. We've got access to doing that. Okay. Right, so we don't need this anymore. And so at the moment we still haven't created any of the any of the actual making the objects like change. So there's just going to be, so the pictures are going to look the same. Well, yeah, well, we haven't affected the sprites, so the sprites will look the same. So with all this knowledge in mind, let's just see if we've got any error messages straight off the bat. Okay, no, we haven't. That's good. So now let's get out of here. We're actually going to go into this object here, remove this one, because hopefully we just don't need it at all, and then add just the Destiny script. I'll put it over here. That's fine. Okay. So now we've done that. Let's see what we've got. Let's see what we've got to work with. I won't have. Yeah, so it might be an error message, but like this will be hopefully we'll get something. Ah, no, we've got an error message. That's fine. Oh, we're getting it straight off the bat there. Okay. Let's try and work out. Let's do a bit of workshopping as to why that is the case. So we don't actually necessarily need this to be here. We can go Control X upon start. We can put that there. So the problem... Oh, the problem's actually quite... I think I know. So let me just save this here. So I think the problem that we had was we were trying to access this game info script, but it hadn't essentially been created yet, I believe. So let's see. Let's see if this works. Nope, we're still getting that problem. That's fine. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah. So for whatever reason, I'm still not 100% sure. It hasn't acknowledged that the game info script is in play. Oh, hang on a sec. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot. Hold on 1 sec. Oh no, it's okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. Right, okay, let's give this another shot. Yes, okay. Even though this looks rubbish, this is kind of what I was going for. This is actually what I was looking for. So there should be 13 of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's good. Right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'm just a complete idiot. Right. I know why that didn't work. Okay. Right, the thing which I'm not 100% sure with is... it should have kind of faded in, whereas it looked like they all just clicked in instantly. Oh, I think... maybe not. Let me have another look at that. Let's just change some of these values to, say, half a second. Yeah, yeah. There is quite a few errors. I mean, like I say, at the moment, this is, if ever there was a time where it's like you're thinking, this is where I'm basically trying to create a whole new thing to put in the game, and so I'm making a really sort of rubbish version of it to then make it better. But it's a little bit tricky. So let's see, because ideally they should be fading in. Yes. Okay. Oh right. Yeah, they were. Yeah. Okay. I actually did want them to. I think it was just because the frame rate was so slow just for that moment. Now I'm going to turn it back to 0.25 and just see, because obviously I want it to kind of summon a bit faster than that. How are you doing though, Hylocopter? Right. Let's see. Right, let's just see, because we wanted to... yeah, that is... Yeah, I think it might be a problem slightly more with my computer. Yeah, they should be... is there actually any sort of compromise we can make here? I guess, for the time being, we're just going to make it half a second. I can't explain exactly why... yeah. I can't explain exactly why they're not... yeah, because I want it to just summon faster than that, because I don't want every time you go onto this Destiny map you have to wait for all of this to come up. I want it to be almost instantaneous, but not quite. I still want it to sort of fade in. Yeah, okay. It's because, yeah, the summon routine, I've got it as taking 0.5 seconds. Okay, I could do a bit of a compromise here. Yeah, okay, there is actually a sort of way that we can sort of compromise slightly. So this should hopefully, this might better. Let's just see. Let's see how this works. Oh, it just created it. I have no idea. But that doesn't matter too much at this precise moment. So now we have created like what we're essentially looking to create. Let's go make all of these a bit smaller as well. So if we have it on there, so I want to make sure that when we're actually in the game, there's going to be some sort of indicator, so that, like, you know, sort of a time indicator, so that it'd be like, I'm almost thinking of different like months of the year. So it literally starts on January. So when it's January, it's going to be pointing down here. So you've got to do something in this row, and then it sort of moves along further. But let's have a look. But yeah. So what we want to do now is make it so that, let's go, just for simplicity, let's go make these cards a little bit smaller, which is quite easy to do. We're going to change the sprite of them to make them smaller, and make it so that when you hover over something, that you can actually see what's going to happen. Okay, so first of all, let's go make these sprites a bit smaller. So resources, let's go close this, sprites. Oh yeah, we also want to actually set these sprites here, so that's fine. So this is 128. I think if we turn this into 256 and apply, and change this one to 128 and apply, but we then need to actually make sure we're giving them. So where's the main Destiny map? Clickable. Oh, I'm here already. Okay. So clickables. We're going to have a public void set sprite, and here we're just going to have a sprite. Destiny sprite, and then base sr dot sprite equal. Why would it ever think? Why would it ever think the default thing that I'd want to go is shadow casting mode? Sprite equals Destiny sprite. Here we go. Right. So now that we've done that, we simply need to go onto here, and when we're doing all this bunch of stuff here, before we actually summon, we're going to have Destiny map bonus script dot set sprite to potential, no, Destiny card sprites, that's fine. Destiny card sprites 0. And Destiny map master script, yep, dot set sprite to potential monster sprites 0. Okay, right. Where are we? Okay, yeah, that's a lot better. That's exactly the sort of thing that we're looking for right now. So Yeah, I like this. Okay. Right. So the idea is like you sort of work along. So you fight a monster, then you get to add a card, then fight a monster, add a card, fight a monster, and that looks a lot more sort of manageable, I think, here. And you can still check your current deck at the time. And what we need to do as well is, so yeah, right. So one thing that's quite interesting is when we actually go to start a game, we've actually got a string there to indicate what monster we're looking to fight. However, I want to get rid of that whole string altogether, and I want to actually just physically put on a scriptable object and be like, this is the monster that you're going to fight, which we will work on. But first of all, we need to make sure that oh, hold on. Okay, that looks a bit better. Okay. Right, but before we actually do that, we need to work out a way. So first of all, where we have our Destiny Map class, we're going to have another thing, which is public monster SO monsters to fight. And in this master script over here, again, gonna look ugly. Kind of at peace with that for the time being. Destiny Map class dot monsters to fight equals new monster SO 13. So they're not all going to be monsters. They're going to be empty spaces in the bits where we need them to be empty spaces. So for all the even numbers, we're going to have Destiny Map monsters to fight 0 equals now. Okay. So we can't actually get... Okay. Right. So maybe... Okay. So what we're going to do instead... so it's not actually... right, change my mind. Pull it back, guys. I think this should be... We should have strings here. Yeah, this is a difficult thing to do. Because I've got to remember... actually, it's fine. Okay, let me just... let's get rid of that for the time being. What I kind of need to remember is how do we actually get hold of these scriptable objects? And I'm going to kind of just go... I'm going to have to go into the other scene and try and work out how we actually get to the scriptable objects in the first place. So, I think it will be here somewhere. So in the main game master, let's edit this. Let's get to this point. because I think it shouldn't actually be too difficult. I just got to remember how, because I was hoping that we could just refer to the monster scriptable objects like directly, but it doesn't quite work that way. Here we go. Oh, okay. It's like this. That's all we needed to do. This is the key thing, the key bit of information that we needed. And I think this makes sense. I think this makes sense. So this will need a bit of editing later, but I just wanted to remember how you actually get to the monster scriptable objects. I thought there was like a sort of easier way, but it looks like we just go resources.load and then do that. So now we've got this bit of information. Okay. So this can still remain there, that's fine. And I think I called out. So I'm just looking for the, not that, this one here, Blobbo and Clawwreck. So this dot load. Monster SO plus okay. So just for simplicity reason, we're going to I think it's for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Okay. So, yeah, it's an ugly way of doing it for the time being, but we're setting up all the different monsters. That's good. Okay. Right, so we don't need that anymore. Destiny map script. So instead of setting the sprites this way, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to have Destiny map monster script dot set up, which will then be underscore Destiny map class dot monsters to fight I. We're going to get rid of that. And part of this setup here, we're going to have base sr dot sprite equals underscore monster so dot let's have a look. try and work out what we're setting it to. What's the mini idle sprites? 0. Okay, so let's see if this works. I think the sprites are going to be big again, but this will hopefully set all of our sprites, so we'll actually have like the different. It's going to alternate different enemies. So let's give this a shot. Let's go back into our Destiny map. Right. So the monsters might be big, but yes, okay, yes, we're finally, like, things are actually starting to take shape now. So we can set all the different monsters that you're going to fight. Obviously, I'm going to create more than just 2, but then you have an idea. It's like, we get a bonus there, we get a bonus there. Right, okay. It's actually, okay. Even though this still looks a bit rubbish, this does actually make a lot of sense, because what I kind of want to do is have like a different image, you know, like almost a sort of tile-like shape that takes the form of these. So, you know, it's not just a simple enemy there. It's going to be like a tile that has a sort of black outline of what the enemy that you're going to fight, to add a bit of mystery. So that is like, so surprisingly enough, even though it really doesn't feel like it, we are actually making quite a lot of progress here. So what we're going to do now is we want to make sure, we want to make it so that when you hover over, let me have a look, sorry. Yeah, so when you hover over these various different things, it says what it's going to do. But you know what? I think what I'm going to probably do right now, I think I'm probably going to call it here, just purely because kind of like, I think I've actually, as much as this doesn't look particularly like groundbreaking or amazing, I've actually have just about like started. I've just made my first claw into actually making the game look, making it actually suddenly turning it into a game, even though we're not there yet. And this particular script here, this needs an awful lot of work, but this is like a really proper sort of placeholder way of creating a Destiny map class. And like when I actually start, when we're gonna, you know, like next episode we're gonna make this better, so that like there's gonna be some randomness when like the Destiny map is being created. Right, okay, fantastic. Right, thank you very, very much for stopping by. This has been a lot of fun, and I do apologise that the last hour or so has been me scrabbling around in the dark, but I think soon we will we'll get a little bit better, and we'll get things kind of sorted and stuff. It's good. We're getting there. It's a work in progress. I think now that I've actually made the first effort towards it, we'll start. I think next episode is going to start really looking good. Anyway, right, thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys later.